Hey guys, I'm here with my 2009 Mini Cooper non-turbo R56 second generation. I'm going to change out the fuel filter. Bought this about a year ago, this car, and not sure if it's ever been changed, so I'm going to go ahead and tackle that. So I'm up to this point, and but let me catch you up to how I got to this point. So first step is disconnecting the battery, and battery's on the left side of my car. So it just takes a 10 millimeter wrench to loosen the top and disconnect it. Probably could do it without disconnecting, but just a precaution. Then the next thing you have to do, you don't have to do it, but you'll get gas spraying out through when you're changing it, is to actually take the pressure out of the fuel line. And basically, it's located over here on the end of the injectors. So you just take it's a Schrader valve. So you just screw it's just like on a bicycle cap. Screw that off. Push the little valve on the inside, just like on a bicycle valve. Put a rag down there, and it squirts out probably maybe a tablespoon of gas. So there, now we're all set to go ahead and start working on inside the car. So you could probably do it without actually removing the back seat, but I was going to do it just because it was easier to film and get around back there. But actually, when I found out it's actually easy to take out the back seat, so it's actually worth it taking it out. Basically, you just lift up the front of the seat off these clips, and then let me show you. Then after you lift it up, basically what's holding it in is this clip here. So you squeeze your hand down in there and just push down, it'll just come right off this clip, and you'll be able to pull out the whole seat portion. Let me go show you what the seat portion looks like. So here's the seat removed. This is the front end of the seat, and basically those clips on the left and right just squeeze between these pieces right here. Then on the back end, which had that clip, basically just clips onto this piece of metal here. So if you let me flip it over. Here's the seat. So basically, if you just push down right here in the middle, it'll clip off that back, and you just be able to pull out the whole seat, which is fairly easy. Probably worthwhile doing. So back inside the car, you gotta take out these 5 nuts, and it's a 10 millimeter. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, got the 5 nuts off. So you actually need something to pry it open. You can almost feel like because it's stuck on there pretty good. Wait a minute. Yeah, no, there's not one up there. Looks like you actually get the top off a little bit to before you get the bottom. There you go. So it's kind of like it's not sticky, but it's just a rubber gasket that goes around it that holds it on. So one of the things to have some rags just in case there's gas, and go ahead and vacuum out, and maybe use some compressed air and blow it out clean. Let me go ahead and do that. Okay, all clean, vacuum, blew compressed air. So the first thing you gotta do is take off this ring. If you know, there's these 10 notches going around. They sell a tool for that. It costs about 60 bucks, but I decided to go ahead and make my own. Well, I'll disconnect this first before taking this ring off. So let me show you the parts that I bought and the tool I made to take off this ring. Okay, this is the ring you're gonna have to take off. I actually bought another one because it was only 5 bucks, so I can actually go ahead and make the tool for it. So basically, if you get a 4-inch PVC pipe, this is a 4-inch PVC pipe coupler, it actually fits perfectly where those notches are, just like that. So since there are 10 notches, that makes them each notch about 36 degrees apart. And let me show you the width of them. Okay, each notch is probably only about, at most, 1/4 inches wide, and they're not very deep, so maybe not 1/4 inches deep. So basically what I did is, since I already had this one, I was able to line it up and just mark around. But if you want to make the tool ahead of time, since there are 10 of these, 36 degrees apart, and basically this is what I made. Notched it out. Use a drill bit. Draw up the hole, on these ends. Then just use a little saw, just cut them out, or a Dremel tool to come out the little pieces. Then I found this bar sitting around, and basically cut a slit, slide the bar in, put a nut on it. One of the things I noticed in the book, it did not have an actual torque for torquing this down. So out of curiosity, I'm going to actually measure the torque for taking it off, but at the same time I'm going to put marks on it to see where it is before and after. So when I ordered a filter, fuel filter, this is what you get, similar to a oil filter. You get 2 of these blue O-rings, but on previous YouTube videos I see that you only need 1, and the manual only says you need 1. You get these 2 smaller O-rings and this O-ring. So that's what comes in the kit when you get a fuel filter. Yeah, so going back to the manual, you'll see that this is the retaining ring, number 1, which is this thing. Then you got the seal, which is supposed to be this. Then I gotta take off the top cover, get this O-ring, which I'm assuming is this. And then you got a small O-ring on top and a small ring on bottom, which are these 2 small ones right here. So let me go ahead and disconnect this top connector right here first. And basically you do that by squeezing the connectors on either side. Okay, so I want to disconnect this first. And basically there are clips on either side, so you just need to squeeze that and pull them out. Might take a little force. Okay, finally got this off. I have to use the right tool. Some really thin needle nose pliers, and basically what I did is I got it in there to squeeze it, and you wiggle it back and forth as you're pulling it out, and that way it worked its way out. It did shoot out a little bit of gas, but I'm pretty sure this is a lot less than it would have been if I didn't relieve the pressure. So next I'm going to do is take off this ring. So I'm going to actually make a mark here if I end up using the old ring, but if not, at least I'll know the torque to put it back on. Okay, using the torque wrench and my tool, this comes off about 20 inch-pounds. So it's about 20 inch-pounds. Go ahead and take that off. So let me go ahead and take off the ring. There's the ring. Okay, so what you're going to see is there's these 2 separate pieces here. You see a notch right here. So basically just get a little screwdriver underneath to help separate the 2 here. There's that O-ring. Mine is blue. For some reason this one's orange. Okay, next down here this is a clip. So basically if you pull it out a little bit, which undoes this little hook here, allows you to slide it down like that. Careful when you lift it up. So basically this, I think this turn does a little turn to take it off. Okay, gonna need some leverage. So you use a screwdriver, put it in the slots pretty deep, and then you only turn about pretty much 1/8. Once again, you're gonna need leverage, pulling it up, and what you're gonna get is gas flowing out once you break that seal. And there goes the top. There's top, there's one of the O-rings. Here's that thin O-ring that came off, which goes back on, like that, I believe. So this should just pull right out. Twist and pull. Yeah, let me forget what's going on here. So basically it took force just to pull it off, and then just pulled it off and pretty much got gas all over the back seat. So be careful when you do that. There's an O-ring down there. Comes off, that little O-ring. And let me go ahead and compare the new and the old together. So there's my old gas filter and my new gas filter. So yeah, it's pretty dirty. I have about 110,000 miles on my car. So I don't know if it's ever been changed. So go ahead and change it now and start the clock. You can see that it's pretty dirty in there between the pleats and stuff. So go ahead and first thing is go ahead and get that little O-ring off the bottom and put this one on. I was trying to use a pick to do it, but that's not the way to get it off. Here's the O-ring. You just stick your fingers up down there and just roll it off basically. And that's the easiest way to get it off. New one. Just roll it on until you hear its seat. Let me go get the oil the fuel filter and snap that in. Okay, fuel filter's in, and I know it's in. It's hard to push it in because it's probably the new O-ring. One thing not to do is be looking straight down at it when you're doing it, because gas will shoot up through the middle as when it gets seated. So you gotta be careful with that. Went ahead and changed. Here's the old one. Go ahead and put the blue one on. Went ahead and change out this O-ring too. You don't need a tool to pick it out. Just roll it off with your fingers. And here's the new O-ring. I'm not actually sure where this goes. So because it was loose when I took it off. I'll have to look at the drawing. Okay, the only place that makes sense is it goes around this edge. So it probably rolled off when I pulled off the cap. So it's basically I'm gonna put it back on, push it down, turn it a little bit, and I'll lock it in. Okay, the key here is to make sure it's fully seated 360 degrees around, that it's actually mating around, then it'll actually turn on fairly easy. Whew. Go ahead and put this clip back on here. Ooh-wee. The key is this gasket does not seat in the lid, then you push it down. You have to push the gasket, have it seated on the bottom ring before you put this, because what it has is it has this this piece right here. So basically if you seated this to the top and tried pushing it on, it would do this. It would not, it would just crumble, it would just fold in the wrong way. So you have to make sure you seat this to the bottom plastic where this piece is underneath and seats well before you put the top on. And you know this is seated correctly, that you haven't crumbled this lip here, is because you should be able to push this down fairly easy with your fingers. Not easy, but push down that complete seat around. Remember, it has the key here, so you key it up to that. Now I just need to put the O-ring back on. I think I'm going to go ahead and use the new one, since I know the torque is 20 foot-pounds around to put it back on. Okay, got the new ring on. By coincidence, the 20 foot-pounds lines up back to my marker here where I put the little circle, just like the other one did. So I'm going to plug this back in. Just snap right in. Just like that. So go ahead and connect the negative battery and let it prime a little bit, and then start up the car to make sure there's no leaks. Okay, I turned on the car, accessories, let it prime a little bit for about 15 seconds, started it. Took a little bit to start, but then that's because I probably bleeded it, that's why. Don't forget to put the Schrader valve cap back on, where where you relieve the pressure and at the engine. Don't forget to put that back on. Check for leaks. I don't see any leaks besides the gas that I spilled when I did it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this cover back on. Doesn't take much to put those little holes back on and just clean up the area, and I'm done. So hope this helps you changing your fuel filter. This was at 110,000 miles, pretty dirty, and it takes a little bit of a while, and careful to make sure you don't get gas all over the place, but not that bad of a job. Thanks for watching.